Welcome to the Amazon pay-per-click and Amazon advertising in general. So this is just going to be pretty much a generic general video on Amazon pay-per-click. So the reason why I'm bringing this to you is because I wanted to help people figure out that there's a little more to Amazon than just kind of running things or uploading your product and Amazon sell it, things like that. So apologize, had a bunch of technical difficulties this morning, so not able to get up like I wanted to at about 9:30. So anyways, if you're tuning in, thanks for tuning in, and want to discuss Amazon. So with Amazon, you can upload your products, run and sell them. Issues that you run into that you may not know about, especially if you're new at this, is as you do that, you may actually have other sellers who are already selling the same product or something really similar, and that can cause problems within the system and be kind of a headache. So you got to make sure you do your homework before you do that, and make sure it's not actually a brand that's already selling. If it is yourself, so that's something. It's a lot of background, a lot of work that you need to figure out. It's a pretty simple process, but going through and actually having to figure out with your particular product if that's something you can do or how you can go about doing it. That's something where you'll need to need a little help with that. The other thing is when you do get your products up, you definitely want to be doing some different things to your product. Like Google SEO in the way that you want product, in a way that it will actually effectively be seen by users, essentially. So you want to tell the system, hey, this is what I have for my product, and the products fit these certain types of words and keywords and things that the buyer is actually going to be looking for. So as you're telling the system that, your product is getting linked up with those words, and then it's actually able to get broadcast out in front of the actual buyer as they go into the marketplace on Amazon in particular. So, and then not only that, there's all these other little things behind the scenes, such as do they actually get marketed to, I'll turn around and get marketed in the right spaces? Are you actually linked up in the right categories? Which things like that are not really that important to the user. Most people are not necessarily looking through the category in particular, but however, that does kind of help the system categorize your product, because there's just so many different products on Amazon. So making sure you get them in the right product feed and things like that are all really important things. So those are all things to consider. The other thing is there's actually some different places on Amazon where they will try to market you do that, and I'll actually just try to give you advice. So that you kind of have to take with a grain of salt, so to speak, because it's not necessarily the best advice every time, not good advice at all, especially since it's kind of a generic broadcast. So for some products and some places, it may actually work effectively. With your product, it may not work at all. And the advice they give you is not necessarily the what you'll find out in a call and discuss things with them. They offer you always get different people from one person to the next on the phone, so not always the best information that's put forward. So it's always, I recommend you always go on the outside and figure out from someone who's actually been doing selling, someone who's been involved in Amazon and successful, as what works and what doesn't work. So the other problem is they will see all these different advertisements, just do them. Doing best advice I can give you for that, as far as getting the most out of your sales, is just make sure that your product itself is telling the market what it's all about and communicating to the market what you are essentially selling. So, and all the little tiny features and all the little tiny details that talk about it. So once the system recognizes that, it will effectively advertise you for those things as long as you start doing an advertising campaign. So there's a lot more things behind the scenes on that, which a lot of people don't realize. There's actually I mean, we're talking, 40, 50 levels of different keywords and drilling down and getting into different little tiny details, even down to where characters are placed. So it's literally hours and hours and hours of work. A normal person may just sit there and think, oh, I'm just going to type in a few words and upload the product and we're good to go. And yeah, you'll get sales over time, but I mean, you may not ever be seen. But if you've obviously leave it up there for years, time is also a factor in Amazon, and they'll actually pull that up as a good thing. So again, if I could just sum this quick Amazon webinar, make sure that your product that you're uploading or your products are all optimized in a way that the buyer is actually going to effectively see it. Make sure that there are keywords that you're actually being searched for and people are actually looking for on Amazon. Just what you're thinking in your mind, because that's what the target market for. So effectively, the Amazon is just a machine, so it needs to read it in a way that it sees that your product is going and it's not confusing to the buyer. And then at the end of the day, you got to make sure everything looks real good. So if you want more information, go ahead and check me out at derekbella.com. Sign up on there if you'd like to get connected and start talking about how we can help you on Amazon. Also, whatever channel you're tuning in on, just go ahead and leave comments, questions, things like that you'd like to discuss, or just email directly through my website. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you out a little bit. If there's any other little questions you want answered, go ahead and shoot me a question. All right, bye.